Here is what's really happening in the Vail, Colorado real estate market today. And despite what you may have heard and headlines across the country about a housing market correction or a crash, that's not what's happening. And despite also consumer sentiment and fears of inflation and geopolitical issues, there is something very different happening here in this market. So let's dive into this. As of April 2026, this is what the current landscape looks like. And I'm going to talk about inventory, pending and closed sales, talk about days on market, and we're also going to talk about median and average price and what this means to you as a home buyer or seller. In March of 2026, there were 79 homes sold in Eagle County, and there were 100 pending listings. Closed data is a lagging indicator that tells us what has happened, and pending sales generally are a leading indicator that tell us what's likely going to happen. And given that there's 524 active listings, that's just slightly over 6 months of available inventory. Now, when there is 4 months or less inventory, we have what's called a seller's market, and that will give distinct advantages to sellers to get their highest and best price. And in between 4 and 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. So we're just at the tipping point of a balanced market where it is slightly advantageous to buyers right now, but just barely. And considering, and check my facts on this, but considering that around 40 to 45% of homeowners in the United States don't have a mortgage, primarily because of the baby boomer generation, and most of those homes in that generation are paid off. The next 60% of the homes that have mortgages, more than half of those mortgages, and I think it's closer to 75% of the individuals who have mortgages have below 4% interest rate. So it creates an interesting environment where sellers usually don't have to sell right now because they either don't have a mortgage or they have a sub 4% interest rate. So that is a consideration, and particularly in a luxury market in Eagle County where a lot of homeowners are second or third homeowners, or even locals who do have homes generally are more affluent individuals. Sellers are a little less bullish to lower their price. So understand that. But given that homes are still moving and transactions are happening, you can expect as a buyer to pay a fair market rate for the home that you're looking at. Let's talk about days on market. Right now, we're at 93 days on market, which is getting longer. Typically speaking, 30 days on the market. If a home doesn't sell, in general, it's overpriced, but given that our price points are higher here, there is more grace period to find the right buyer because of the barrier to entry based on the price of the homes in this area, which still, homes right now, prices are still holding really firm and high. The median price is just shy of $1.4 million, and the average sales price is $2.3 million. Actually, it's a little bit closer to 2.4. So that tells us that this is still slightly a luxury market, and these homes are trading for high dollars. So what does this all really mean when it comes to you buying or selling your home? Number one, you have to be patient if you're a buyer, but also expect that you're going to pay a fair market deal. You're going to pay a fair market price for that home. And for sellers right now are still getting 97% of their asking price. So if that home is on the market and it is priced well, it's going to sell within a real close range to what they're asking. The key here is to make sure as a seller, your house is priced based on the most recent closed data. And for buyers, it just means that you have to have good, strong negotiation, and you have to be willing to make offers. That's the update for today. God bless you.